realize it's fresh. It's as fresh as me. I'm not very fresh. Don't take my word for that. That might be obvious. Oh. Tenta missile. Whoa. I'm very good at the shooting out of the air thing. Damn it. Where'd they come from? This priest? Damn. Yeah, we lost. Go figure. Bam, 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 bam. Man.
¿Cómo estás?
Saluton.
Ah, saluton.
Saluton. Kiervi.
Hey, how's that slosher weapon? Any good?
It's it's essentially a bucket. And it's basically close range. Big thing of ink. If you have a lot of perks for speed going on and stuff, and maybe some ninja squid, so you can be in the ink and not notice, or not be noticed as easily, you can get right up on top of people and just kill them in 2 sloshes or so. But it's basically it's short range is the big weakness of the weapon. So you have to compensate your playstyle for it.
Your knowledge of the metagame is superior.
Yeah. It's just little things you have to think about. And
Yeah.
I've actually found, at least in my opinion, that a lot of the kits, I call them kits, that's what we call them, battlefields. I can't get rid of that.
Are you in a match?
They there a lot of kit weapons, you know, sub weapons and special weapons, they don't help you out that much with your weakness, at least the early ones. And as you get later into the game, you start to get kits that have, you know, better specials and stuff. And you know, the little crab man will tell you that it helps out with your weakness, but lies.
Crab.
I mean, he'll sit there and say you can use this to help. It's on paper, yeah, it works that way, but not in real practical application. It doesn't work that way. I mean, in real practical application, the Stingray just always sucks, and it's never going to be a good special weapon. And stop putting it on weapons, especially sniper rifles. We don't need long distance. We don't need more long distance, you know, coverage. We have that because it's a sniper rifle. We need things for close range, and oh my god, they're on top of me. What do I do now? Kind of situations. And a lot of the early kits did not compensate for that. I mean, you could get, so one of the early chargers, Splat charger, you got grenades, which you could throw at your feet and essentially kind of kill someone if they ran up on you.
Right.
But then they give you the special, which is the Stingray, which is a long distance weapon that does almost no damage, and you're like, stop it, stop, this is terrible. I need more to help me. And then what was it? I think there was the Kelp charger or something like that. I don't know. There's a different version of it that had same weapon essentially, but it had different items for kits, sub weapon or special weapon. And I think I'm using that one. Oh, I was using that one before. I forgot what the sub was. Might have been something slightly less useful, but the special was a lot better. So I came up to the conclusion that they'll never give you a perfect one that is just great all around. And then I got to the rank where I am now, where I got the goo charger, and so I'm using it right now, and it is perfect all around for what they give you, mostly.
Cool.
It's not perfect. I mean, I think they gave you suction bombs for a sub. I like a little bit of bounce. But there is a downside to it, which is it takes longer to charge. It's not Elite or 4K long, which is a really long time, but longer than normal. So you can't get off as many full charge shots as you would beforehand. So it's kind of communication error. Are you on your phone?
Oh yeah.
Let's say I can hear a lot more background noise than I could before.
Oh, I was watching a show.
Yeah.
Soon
So it works that way.
Yeah. Soon I'll have my man cave set up.
Man cave.
Video gaming purposes. Video cave.
I'm playing with mommy here. And no one else on my team. You could join in. Kyre. I don't guess you're Kyre.
I'm using the ink brush right now.
Oh, you're in a different round.
Yeah.
Yak attack. There's a guy here named Yak.
I have not settled on a weapon yet.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while. These are weapons I settled on from Splatoon 1, so I have a lot of experience from that game. It carries over in this one. Although they did change up a lot of the special weapons. We had one in Splatoon 1 called the Kraken, which was so good. We want the Kraken to come back. And that was my fault, you know. But yeah, the Kraken was replaced in this game with the hamster ball, and it's just not as good. The hamster ball you can stop if you. And the Kraken was like the star, invincible star in Mario Brothers. And you just kind of ran around and annihilated everybody. And it was nice. Oh. And then instead of the Stingray, we had the Whaler, which was this huge cone. Whoa! Of like it only got like the further out you were from it, the wider the shot became. This devastating mega weapon. And they replaced it with the Stingray, which, okay, the Stingray, I understand the appeal of it, but if it doesn't kill people, what's the point? I mean, that's...
Right.
So it's pop, 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 pop. So this person's using the brush too, to great effect. When you're using the brush, you have to be ninja with it. Think of the brush as a melee weapon. And, hide in the ink and leap up on people at point blank range, and you usually win.
Good strategy. I just got all the way over to the enemy spawning point.
That's a good place to be. Oh shit.
Oop, Splat Roller defeated me.
The Splat Rollers will do that. Splat Rollers, if they just roll over you, they will do damage. And certain Splat Rollers are heavier and do more damage faster, rolling over you than that. But they can also, Splat Rollers can also be used as melee weapons. They can fling ink, a lot more ink than a brush can. Either, you know, in Splatoon 1 it was a short range, or in Splatoon 1 it was a short range. In Splatoon 2 they've added the ability to make it a long range throw when you jump and fling. And so it's a much more versatile weapon than it was before.
Nice.
But it's kind of very dominant when it comes to inking territory.
Yeah, it's very good for that. I don't have very good aim in this game yet, so using Splat Roller was great for that.
Yeah. Aim in this game is all about the motion controls. All about the motion controls. And,
which I haven't been using.
Well, you gotta turn them on. You gotta turn them on. You're not gonna get good if you don't turn them on. Because that is what allows you to essentially, you can essentially turn faster, or adjust your aim faster with motion than you ever could with joysticks. So it's kind of like using a mouse, and it's a little weird. You gotta get used to it. You know, gotta get used to pressing Y to readjust your camera. But once you get used to it, you're kind of like, oh. Well, then you start actually, I feel bad for all these other console games. People playing Destiny and what have you that don't have essentially a third axis for fine-tuning their aim really quickly. I'm like, you guys are playing a shooter game without this motion control? Oh my god, how do you do that?
Right.
So, it's pretty nice. And, it was a thing in Splatoon 1. They just brought it back over in this game, which is good. The big thing that was a thing in Splatoon 1 that I was really concerned about was quick jumping, or super jumping, which was all tied to the touchpad. Now, in the beta for the test, you know, Splat thing they had, it was implemented differently. I don't know what their implementation was. Well, it was hold X and press left or up or down or right on the D-pad to pick a person to jump to, and you can still do that. But because you're kind of like, wait, I have to look at the map and see where they are, and oh my god, I don't know. It was kind of weird. It took a lot longer to do than just tapping them on looking down and tapping them on the screen. And they finally figured out, wait, if we're using the motion controls like a mouse reticule already, why don't we do it for that too? And so when you hold on X, you can have motion controls on and tilt a reticule over on top of the person you want and just let go and you jump on top of them. And it's much quicker. So motion controls solve everything essentially. It comes down to compensating for the cool things the Wii U could do in Splatoon 1 that the Switch can't, essentially.
Let me know when your match ends so I can try and join it.
Okay. Just start up again. I'll say that, but...
Seems like joining a match with friends on here is really difficult.
Can be. I've seen people have a lot of disconnection problems. It's just you gotta wait. You just gotta have patience. Because of the whole person-to-person connectivity thing. We're not used to that sort of thing. With most online games and computers don't have you these days. It was, to me, a lot harder before. Then again, I never played with friends on Splatoon 1, really. I mean... What the fuck? Jeez. That guy is using the super heavy roller. He has no running speed whatsoever.
It seems like it'd be easier maybe to use these Switch app.
For what?
For connecting with friends.
Maybe. I haven't really used... I mean, that only really works in a lobby and private battle, I think. When it comes to talking to people.
Yeah.
I am losing. Killing a lot of people. Losing the coverage. The battle of coverage. We have no viewers now. Had some people come in going, what happened? Hello? Now no viewers.
It's my fault.
I had to go eat. Alright, my match is ended.
Okay. I will hit join your friend until I can join you.
Play again? Yes.
That's all I know how to do. You can't join that friend.
Mm-hmm. It might have found a match for a team already. Keep trying, who knows? To me it says 3 have been found and they're searching for a 4th, but it could have already found that 4th and is having a hard time connecting to him. Mags, how he's in. And I guess that's why people say make a private room, but it doesn't help you any when you want to rank up in a Splatfest, and you can't because it's not ranked in a private match. And also, I mean, you have to fill out your room.
So for Splatfest battle team, we would need 2 more people.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think with 2 of us, we can probably go in and get. We can try to get matched up. We'll give that a shot next. We'll do this round here, and then we might be able to get paired with 2 more. But I know if you do 3, you don't get paired with a 4th or something like that, and this is weird. Weird things it does. I honestly don't stream this enough. I don't play enough people. Well, I do stream it a lot. I just never have people like Mel in here playing it with me. I have Coops in here. Coops comes and he kicks my ass, which sucks.
Does Mel play?
Mel plays a lot. Mel plays more than anyone else I know. But she plays with like her group. And they are 3 or 4 with her and stuff, and it's like, see, Heath, can you play with people? I probably played with her once, twice. And then we keep saying we should play some ARMS.
I might pick that up someday.
It's pretty fun, but it's definitely meant for multiplayer and meant for online or local and stuff. It has basically no story to it. There's no explanation for what the hell's happening. It kind of feels like what Splatoon was first planned to be, which was just a solely multiplayer shooter, no story, no nothing to it. And then when Nintendo saw the reaction people were having to it at the first E3 showing it was, they went to the team and went, you guys have to do a single player story mode now and make this game huge, new franchise. And they all panicked and busted their ass to make a single player happen, and a story and all that stuff. But it's almost like that's what they ran with, that original kind of idea. This is just a multiplayer game, no story needed, what have you, with ARMS. And I kind of feel like they needed to
do a story.
They needed to come up with a reason as to why this is happening. And they've hinted to things through tweets, like that the masks that people wear is what gives them these arms, makes these arms happen. But beyond that, there's not much else known about the story.
It seems like some of them just kind of woke up with them.
Yeah, that's the other part of the story. Like we don't know who we woke up with these arms. We don't know why. Well, who cares? They're fun. Let's play in the ARMS tournament. And you're like,
yeah, let's
what?
fight now. Yeah.
I kind of feel like it needed more of a story because it has all the makings of a good Nintendo franchise. It just there's not much of a reason for people to alright, my match ended, so I'll back out of this here if I can, and we can try to do team together.
Crap, I'm in a match right now.
Well, I'll wait.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of those games that I'll probably get once I have like another set of controllers. For like,
yeah, I bought another set of controllers, and I don't have anyone ever come over. But also, I also bought this other set of controllers to paint them, and I just decided, wait, I should paint a Wii remote first before I break apart this incredibly complicated $80 controller. And my painting of the Wii remote is kind of up in the air. The top parts come out fine. The bottom part
look pretty good.
Well, something was a little rough. I tried to sand it down a little bit, and my sandpaper was too hard, and it really took off a lot of paint. And so I sprayed it again, but then it didn't spray evenly anymore. It sprayed like half pink, half red, and so and then it started to rain nonstop. And so I decided, okay, well, I'll just I'll give it a week, and then I'll sand it. And I had this white primer, so I'll use this white primer over it, and then spray it again with red, so it's all evenly red again. And I sprayed it with a white Krylon primer, and it sprayed on there, but it also then took like started to crackle like the Last Supper or something. I was like, what? And I don't know why. I can't figure it out. I sprayed it. I thought sanding it down then would be good to do, because they kind of said so in the instructions, but it didn't. It was kind of rough still, and then I sprayed it with red, hoping red. Well, maybe it's just supposed to do that, and the red will cover it up. It really didn't. The red is all crackly, and then I tried to sand that down, and then it started to peel off like a chocolate crumbly cookie, and I went, nah. So
okay,
it's out there sitting there waiting for me to do it again, but it's been raining nonstop. I had to go accept a friend request from somebody who again has a name I can't read because it's a smiley face or a cat face or something. Let me check my I gotta get back into the lobby.
No problem.
You play on
Mario.
TV or you play on handheld?
Currently, I'm playing handheld. Are you going to bed or you watching another episode? No, it's okay. No, I'm playing handheld.
Yeah. I kind of play. I kind of take it with me on handheld mode, but obviously when I'm streaming, I have to have it docked.
I have Monday off, so I'm gonna be unpacking and setting a lot of stuff up, like the extra TV and all that. So that'll be fantastic. Unpacking with 2 little kids is like trying to accomplish something with 2 like monkeys in the house.
So I get babysitters.
Yeah, I wish.
I will create a room.
Okay.
No password, I guess. So if you're watching on the stream and you want to come join Team Invisibility, 2 more slots.
Today's password is Twinkies. Brought to you by Hostess.
Yeah.
Joinable. No password. Yeah.
I'm an invisibility defender. I defend the cause of invisibility. There we go. Well, let's hope that this is enough to get us into a match.
I might change my weapon. I'll try the blaster. Oh, no, you know what? The arrow spray.
Yeah, everyone pretty much uses the air spray. It's a pretty safe go-to weapon. It's low damage, but the absurdly high rate of fire is higher than pretty much any other weapon I've seen in the game, and it basically compensates for low damage. Because when you get hit from something like that, it harms you, it covers your vision, it kind of slows you in your tracks. It has stopping power to it, and if it slows your enemy in the tracks with 1 hit, you can quickly adjust and get all your succeeding hits to land on them, and then that pretty much they just splat and go.
I'm all about that overcompensation.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. Are we ever going to match with somebody?
I don't know. Just waiting.
Someone told me that you only need 2 to get a team going. But I guess it also has to find 2 people that are only 2. I wish Mel was here because she has more experience with this. We could ask her.
She's usually on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I've started my Xenoblade Chronicles stream.
Oh, nice. The
I
first
have
one.
episode 1 and 2 out on my YouTube channel. And I usually do it late at night, which is probably why you haven't seen it. But
I need to actually finish that game.
yeah. I got to the big main field on 3DS and went, meh. And stopped playing it. And now I fire it up on Wii because it has a better resolution on Wii. And figured it'd stream better.
I know I've got the Monado and a couple of the different hearts unlocked.
Yeah, this ain't working.
Yeah.
We're not connecting, are we? I guess why don't you join a match and I'll try to join you.
Oh, okay. Solo.
Car04YT is joinable. No, he has his private chats going on. It's locked or something.
Okay.
Does this change on the fly?
It's waiting for players.
Now, did you pick team again? I think you should just go solo.
No, I did solo.
Okay.
It's matching them up with other solo players, I guess.
I don't see. It's not changing green for you. For me.
Maybe it will. Although, green's the minority, right?
I don't know. I mean, it just says when you're joinable, you turn green. Or you shouldn't turn green. Right now, you are dull.
Gray. Mario Rabbids is so good.
Very good. Much better than I thought it'd be.
And it's funny because I love XCOM games, including the new one, or the new revamp they've done. And
Yes, I never understood. I saw people stream before, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't get this, and so I never got into them. And now that I'm playing Mario Rabbids, I go, oh, okay, I get it. And I also understand why I didn't know what was happening when I was watching the streams. It's just something that you slowly work into all the skill sets and stuff like that, and know what you're doing.
Huh. Actually, we couldn't have a match because we didn't have enough opponents.
Which is strange, because I just never saw you turn green.
Yeah, weird. So I guess I'll try and start again. If you want to keep an eye on my icon.
Yeah.
Searching, waiting for team, invisibility. Nope. No Heath. Should we try the switch thing?
The Switch?
The switch is like friend thing, team maker.
No, that isn't. That's not a thing. I mean, it's just a lobby room. The online lounge. It's like a private match.
Oh, which
It's,
doesn't count for these.
No.
That sucks.
I will try making one, and you see if you can join me. Or join
I
me.
gotta finish the match.
Oh, well, I thought you were saying it wasn't connecting you.
It finally did, but like, well, yeah, you weren't kidding. This rate of fire on this arrow spray thing is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just about to unlock the Mario Rabbit in the game. Have you got him yet?
I do. I have. It's pretty fun. He plays more. I can tell you what he plays like. I don't know if you want to spoil it or not.
Does he play like Mario?
Nope. He has his own thing going on.
Oh, weird. I kind of like that the Rabid Luigi has the vampire thing.
Yeah.
But regular Luigi with that Overwatch mode, where you can shoot anyone on the opposite turn, is so much more my alley.
Yeah.
That's
Kinda
like
it's kind of his hero move.
Yeah. It's hilarious they even named it like the, what is it, like the Luigi Death Stare?
Steely Stare, yeah.
Yeah. Which is like an inside joke from Mario Kart, really.
They got so many inside jokes in that game. It's so good. I've been being them at the writer going, you. He's been hitting the heart button. I asked them about the rubber ducky, and they won't answer me. So I think I'm right.
I think you are right. Wow, this is the first time I think we've really dominated the team on here in a while. We got the entire map and their point. You're doing really well with this weapon, you weren't kidding.
It's a pretty I won't say easy mode, but it's like it's an easy weapon to wield. It's not doesn't take much of a challenge. It's not a Splatfest Pro or something where you're like, God damn it.
Right. Well, safe to say we have this in the back. Probably have like 90% of the map. It's insane. Oh yeah, and they're like this. I'm green. 65 to 22.
Yeah. Probably the worst I've ever seen was something with 12. I was like, damn.
That's brutal.
I'm sure I was on team 12. I'm like,
because you remember it.
I mean, yeah, it's like I almost have to help to get for us to be that bad.
Okay.
Splat War 3, why not? Princess Scarlet Lovelock Chen. What does that even mean? All of that.
Play again. I'm gonna hit nope.
I was on a winning
Okay,
team for a change.
So how are we trying to join up this time? Am I gonna try to join you?
Yeah, just join friends. You can.
Yeah, so I'm on the friends. Waiting to see if we're gonna pop up.
No, probably not because his team is still full. And 10 Jesu.
Is there any online co-op Mario Rabbids?
No. It's all
Seems
local.
like- yeah.
I did go ahead and buy the season pass.
Oh, I'm probably gonna do the same. It's
Ooh, me.
It's ridiculously good. It's actually even better than XCOM.
Really?
I think so, yeah, because of the mobility. Well, at least the first XCOM game. I didn't play XCOM 2 yet.
Yeah.
But like, the fact that you can like bounce off your own people and like, you know, go through tubes and crap. I mean, that's insane. Like
Yeah.
the mobility aspect of the Mario Rabbids one completely changes all of the gameplay.
I just kind of assumed that was part of the XCOM in general.
Oh, no.
You're saying no?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can have people with like jetpacks that can like have like flight, you know, and they can move pretty well. Or for a certain amount of time, you can even like, you know, stay hovering. But other than that, I mean, a lot of the units are just like stuff. I mean, I guess the difference is the Mario characters can't climb and scale walls without jumping off someone.
Yeah.
But they can. There's also seems to be a lot more like melee activity in Mario Rabbids.
Yeah.
Like you can run to someone, whack them, and then shoot them. I don't think I could do that in XCOM.
Oh.
I mean, maybe I gotta think about it. It's been a couple years since I played it. I used to be a huge XCOM fan too. Like I played the original game. They had it for PC and for PlayStation. And God, I must have played that like PC PlayStation one for like 10 years.
Why is this guy not dying? Damn. Killed him. Dang. Makes me wonder what my experience with XCOM will be then. God, I'm very much used to rabbits. I mean, I don't like XCOM as much as
Yeah, you may not.
the rabbits game. I do know that when they were, I read an interview. Or, sorry, I'm killing people, or trying to, and it's breaking my train of thought. Or, I mean, I could just continue with my train of thought, but then I lose. Which I have done before. Splatted Daddy Dan.
How dare you? That's somewhat his daddy.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, he's not kids.
I haven't been to the movies. We're going and watching the remake of Kids.
That would be pretty fun.
Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. Me and Heather went to the movies. Heather, I completely forgot. I went to the movies with Heather on Monday.
As you really enjoyed that movie, didn't you?
It was really good. It just wasn't. It wasn't like a new release. I guess that's what I was. It was.
I lost.
It was a Studio Ghibli anime.
Oh yeah.
That's on the sky. Really good.
Oh.
Oh man, she's like, you're an idiot. She's like, we just saw that movie on Monday. I'm like, you are very correct. I am an idiot.
I don't think I'm gonna make it to King.
No? Much time
No. I mean, we end at 11.
tonight, and it's done forever.
Yeah. I mean, it started at 11 last night. I just didn't know.
It's only a day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I got kicked out of mine. Let me see if I can join you. No, I can join on car. I might have had better luck at getting the King if I hadn't stopped for dinner for an hour.
Every time my phone, like, the display goes blank, I lose chat with you.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Batman kid.
Ooh, I'm almost late. He's like,
Konnichiwa. I don't speak Japanese. I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I'm sorry. Konnichiwa.
Watashi wa Nihongo ga skoshi wakarimasu. Saying, I speak very little Japanese.
I speak konnichiwa. Domo arigato. That's it.
I know some Japanese just from watching anime. Like, nandeste yo? What do you mean? Because, you know, they say that every 2 minutes in Naruto because he doesn't know anything.
Yeah. I was playing. I played what 80 hours of Tokyo Mirage sessions, 70 hours, and the one thing they kept saying over and over and over and over again was Mina, 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 and you're like, okay, what is Mina? What is this? And someone told me it means my friends. Like, it's how they start sentences. Like, come on, guys, let's go, my friends. And
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
so they were always saying Mina, Mina to pretty much every sentence in every combat move, and it was like, jeez, it's like vamonos or something like that. And it was like, okay, I get it. I'll follow you.
Andale. What is the most commonly spoken second language in your neck of the woods?
My negative was car scanning.
Yeah.
Because, well, we're in the South, and there's lots of immigrants.
Really?
If they're immigrants,
Oh.
if from Mexico, and they like to work on construction projects, pretty much. And we like to pay them for that, because they don't want very much. And so, it works out. And that's probably, I would say, probably Spanish. And then, I don't know, there's a place right next to my town called Germantown, which I'm pretty sure was founded by some Germans. And you would imagine there might be some German. No,
That sounds like a safe bet that I would use because apparently I'd be wrong.
Oh my god, this is so much. What happened? Slosher. Bucket. Bucket! So, I don't see anyone watching my stream right now. I don't know if that guy is still here watching. I can't read what he wrote though, because again, I just need to learn how to read Japanese. I can't even read Chadian though, which is something I actually want to do. So,
technically,
it's
I'm watching because I'm playing a game. But you know, I'm here.
The single most annoying thing that my parents do to me is I have these big Bose headsets. I'm not wearing them right now on my head, but I have big Bose headsets. And you put them on your head. That was decimation right there. 18.1%, 63.6. Let's see who wasn't playing. Well, whoever Dirge was just kicked our ass.
So what do your parents do to your Bose head?
Oh, well, I tell them, look, I'm playing a game right now. I'm sitting in here with you. I'm playing a game right now. But when I have these on my head, I have volume on. I cannot hear the outside world. I can't hear a damn thing. I can't hear nothing. Nothing makes sense. So don't try to talk to me. I'm like, I'm in my private world here. Don't bother me. And don't ask me a question. Don't do anything. I mean, if you have to ask me something, come over and tap me so I can take the headset off my head and listen to you talk. But that's all I ask from them. And it goes without fail that I put the headset on, start playing a game, and is all I hear out of the corner of the room. And I take the headset off and go, what? And they go, I was asking if you wanted to watch some television. Do you think I want to watch some television right now? Do you think I care about what the channel is on? I just told you, I have told you a million times that I can't hear a damn thing with this headset on my head and not to talk to me. And what do you do? 4 minutes within me putting the headset on my head. Like, I don't understand it, because it's almost like you couldn't try to annoy me and do a better job at it. It's almost it's like they're after me. I really feel persecuted with the thing. I'm like, good God. And also, I guess another part of that is that dad will talk to himself.
My mom does that.
If you're not
horrible.
down there, I mean,
it's awful.
So I think half the time he's talking to himself, or he thinks that because I'm in the room, I'm an excuse for him to talk to himself, but he'll just direct it at me. But I'm like, I don't want to listen, and he'll ask a question, and I'm just...
Heather just reminded me that my mom not only talks to herself, but when you call on the phone, no matter what you have to say, she immediately picks up, and the first thing out of her mouth is the answer to whatever she thought you were going to say. She doesn't wait for you to actually say anything. She just assumes she knows exactly what you're going to say. And that's the most annoying thing in the world.
That's impressive. That's an impressive level of
it's really bad.
Assumption.
It's like if my dad's coming to pick up, like, hey, I'm going to be like, hey, no, I'm going to drop him. Her first thing is, he's on his way. It's like, hey, how about you wait a second? so I can actually tell you what this game is.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Good time.
And I disconnected from my desktop.
Oh no.
No, my remote desktop. All this is running off my desktop computer because it's a much more powerful computer, but I'm sitting over here at my TV, so I have to have this remote desktop going on my laptop so I can control what's happening and see the chat room and all that stuff. And it just periodically disconnects. And then I have to stop what I'm doing and reconnect it, but guess what? I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to go... Do I have teammates in this game? I don't... I have seen one person. There's the second one. We have at least 3 of us. Whoop-de-doo. So basically, to get playing with your friends easily in this game, you have to have 4.
Bummer.
And,
Sounds like we need to make some friends.
pretty much.
What's wrong with us?
You would think a streamer would be able to do this. And apparently not.
That is making fun of me now. That was everything.
Yeah. You can say, well, I got the last laugh, you married me. Oh my god. So not only does this guy get into the air with a rocket, but he gets the shield on him. And I, of course, with a charger, get one shot, one chance to shoot him. And I hit him. And the shield absorbs the full impact of the shot. And he goes on to fly around and blow me up.
Oh.
And I'm like, this is not balanced. I need...
Man, I'm actually really good with this airspray gun. Either that or everyone's really bad because I'm finally coming in number 1. And
Yeah, the aerospray has that kind of effect on you. You do pretty well with it, usually. The next step up from the aerospray is the Inzap. And it has a little bit more damage, but less fire rate. A little more damage, I think a little bit more distance to it, but
Yeah.
less fire rate.
Nice.
Working on your Effie in Fire Emblem Heroes.
I have not played that in a long time.
Me either.
I liked it. It's just I think I changed phones or something, and then to re-log in, it gave me a hard time, and I was like, I don't need this stress.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I was doing really well.
I mean, I got to the point where I realized how much money I was throwing at it. And I
Yeah.
said, stop, Pete. And when I get on Adderall and stuff, I have a tendency to just spend money.
Dive in. Yeah.
Make poor judgment decisions on money. And I go, no, probably shouldn't play Fire Emblem Heroes while I'm high on Adderall. And I guess I was also getting frustrated because I'd see new characters come out and I go, I want those really bad, and then they give you like 8 orbs or whatever, and then you wouldn't get the one that you wanted, and then you're like, I want to spend money now, and then you go, that's exactly what you can't do because you're broke, Pete. And
It's like, remember?
yeah. So I just kind of stopped playing it for that reason too.
Yeah, because you play like games till like the end of the games. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, by the way, you've got some problems.
Yeah. He says, I play Fire Emblem Heroes so much, it's a problem.
Who does?
Nintendo Fanboy, 2000.
Oh. Well. If you like it, then it's not a problem, I guess.
I don't know. He says he grinds on it a lot, but, you know, also I have several Fire Emblem games I have not completed yet. Fire Emblem Echoes. I have Fire Emblem Fates that and I think Revelations. Well, not
Have you
these
not beaten
Revelations.
those?
No, I
my
stopped
God.
because of Pokemon, I think,
Oh man.
and then I never returned to them. And then Fire Emblem, whatever came out. I think I started the stream of streaming Fire Emblem Awakening, and I'm on episode 3 of it or something. I need to get back to it, but it just, again, it's Fire Emblem, so it takes a while to play in general, and even longer to stream when you're reading everyone's lines out and acting them.
Oh man.
So,
Yeah.
which is fun though.
Yeah. I bet it would be. It'd be actually probably more people to act it out.
It would be even, yeah, it'd be really fun if I had like a whole freaking cast to read it as I played it, but
That'd be kind of brilliant.
it'd be really hard to do, because you know you get conversations pop up on the fly,
Oh yeah.
and you have how many characters in there? 50.
Well, scheduling that would be a thing too.
Yeah, I'm in some voiceover groups on Facebook, and I saw today someone's doing a fully voice, fan voice, fan dub of Hyrule Warriors story mode.
It's kind of neat.
And I guess they were taking auditions was the idea. And I was like, well, I don't know what voice I would play. I just don't know.
Someone knocked me out of the game. I'm an invisibility defender now.
I mean, there's also the one beneficial thing to that is that we have a couple characters that we have never heard before, like Wizrobe and Volga, because they're made for that game.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So at that point, you're just trying to be a good actor and coming up with a good voice for him. But you have also Ganondorf and stuff, which you kind of. My issue with Ganondorf is that there's, even though we haven't ever heard him do speaking lines, there is this Japanese actor for him that has done grunts and laughs for him that gives him an expectation of how he ought to sound. He has kind of laugh, and you're like, okay, so how is that? How does a guy that laughs like that? that kind of laugh. How does he talk? I don't know, especially in English.
Probably
it's
gonna
kind
be
of
ridiculous.
It would be a little bit hard to do, especially hard to do it in a way that is believable. And on top of that, I also think about the fact that he's Gerudo, and they have their own language,
Right.
which means that he would have an accent, most likely. So if you're really going to do him right, you'd be coming up with a Middle Eastern accent with this.
Yes. Or something equivalent.
And it's like, it's hard. That'd be hard to do.
Oh yeah.
And then you have Link, who just goes, "Hut, yeah."
Yeah.
I guess there's also Tingle.
Well, Link's never gonna talk, so.
Well, we kind of know what Tingle sounds like too, because he goes, "Kaloompa." So you kind of have an expectation of what to make of that. So there's things to work with, I guess.
So I'm still kind of amazed that you haven't beaten Fire Emblem.
Oh, I've been right now. I mean, so where I am right now in the game, I don't know if I'm close to the end or not. I suspect I'm not, because I know every time. Well, I know when I was playing Fire Emblem Awakening, at least I haven't really gotten that far in the base. But in Fire Emblem Awakening, when I got close to what I thought was the end, then we're like, "Hey, new continent," and the game kept going, and I was like, "My God!"
Oh yeah.
So I
Yeah,
suspected.
there's still a ways after that.
I suspected that something similar would happen in this game, so I don't think I'm actually at the end, even though it's building itself up to be like it's at the end. But I'm essentially at Doom the Tower, and with Jeddah, supposed to be meeting Jeddah at Doom the Tower or whatever, and I've gone inside Doom the Tower and fought some friggin' hellish beasties. But I haven't gotten to the top of it yet. And then I came out to rank some characters up. Damn it. And, I think, what was it saying?
Wait,
Oh,
Duma
I-
is Echoes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duma Miller. What? You don't remember that?
No, I do now. They get kind of blurred after I played. I mean, I literally played Conquest, Revelations, Awakening, and Echoes. Like, I've beaten Awakening and Fates like multiple times, just because
I'm not.
I had a lot of stuff to play, and I was like, these games I want to play again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The thing is, I got so many damn games. It is.
that's true. You do.
I've told you about. At least I've said on this stream before. I have my Saran Wrap collection of games I bought because I was
That you
afraid
haven't
that they would.
opened.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been times before where you get games and you're like, oh my, or you don't get a game and then you try to get a game later and you realize this is a really rare game. It's really expensive. It's hard to get. Xenoblade Chronicles being, example number one. But also Fire Emblem for GameCube and Wii are both absurdly expensive. I own them now. I went out, I bit the bullet and paid the absurdly expensive prices for them, but I own them, ready to stream, and stuff like that. So I got to the point where I realized I should just buy these games while they're cheap, in case they become $160 games like Fire Emblem or something. And also, I recognize that that's more likely to be a thing with games that are not that popular, or actually any game from Atlas. Has automatically coming out of the gate like a 70% chance of becoming a game like that.
That's true.
In fact, I bought Stellar Glow, and I'm pretty sure Stellar Glow, when most 3DS games are $30, Stellar Glow was $40, out brand new, and for no, that was not the collector's edition. The collector's edition was like $80.
Damn.
And I'm pretty certain it's just because they knew this is gonna be a collector's item, and so. But Stellar Glow also was like a. When Atlas makes a game, they put some money behind it. I mean, the whole opening of Stellar Glow was like an anime. I was like, damn, this is impressive. But I think. What's that?
I'm having trouble remembering which game this is. Stellar Glow.
Stellar Glow is just, the thing is, there's so many Japanese RPGs from Atlas that you probably, it's very possible you haven't heard of it. I'm talking about it. But I played a demo of it on 3DS Shop and thought it was pretty fun.
He's like,
So-
but that's not going to stop me from talking about it.
No, I mean it's it's about a witch or witches, in a fantasy world. And beyond that, I can't tell you much. I mean, they can't sing. No human can sing anymore, or something.
Oh, that's true.
But it was like song is it's such an impossibility that when they hear song, they're like, what the hell is that? I don't even know what's happening, and it's not really something that strikes you as odd. But in the cutscenes and stuff, main character walks up upon a girl singing in the forest, and
Dun,
he's
dun,
like,
dun.
what? And you're like, what are you doing? What is that noise you're making? And she's like, I'm singing. And you're like, what?
Right,
Why?
and you're like, kill it with fire.
And then he makes friends with the thing, even though the girl tells him, you should probably leave. And then she goes on to tell him that, okay, hey, you should probably not go home tonight. Just, you live in that village over there, just don't. Just bear with me. And you're like, what? Okay, that's weird. And,
Everyone dies.
she ends up being like a famous witch from their mythology who sings a song that destroys worlds. And
Oh.
she is there to destroy their town and city and kingdom and everything. So she's literally the villain of the game. But your first introduction to her is like she's kind of nice. I kind of like this person. I hope she joins my group because she's a magician and you get to play on her team a little bit when crazy animals attack. So you get to play with her and see how she plays. And so you're introduced to her like she's gonna be joining your team of people in the RPG, and then she's like, oh, guess what? I gave you fair warning, but I'm here to destroy everything that you love and
What's funny is that's kind of like you ever play Lunar or Silver Star Saga or something like that?
No.
It was the RPG for PlayStation 1.
How do I explain it? You don't have PlayStation 1.
I mean, it was kind of. You ever play Shining Force?
Nope.
Oh,
Is that a PlayStation 1 game?
Yeah. Shining Force was an RPG for like Sega Genesis that I used to play as a kid, and I never realized that it was basically Sega's version of Splatfest, and it's like grid turn-based. Not necessarily, yeah, it is turn-based, but it's like you move your units on like little grids and stuff.
Yeah.
But the storytelling was really good. It wasn't quite cool, but it was something a little different. But people who's like the head core magician helping you. There's like a big reveal, like this magic emperor who's come to like basically destroy all magic, and he kidnapped the main characters, and the game goes from there. And it was like really heavily done with like, great anime and everything, kind of like what Fire Emblem Awakening is.
Yeah.
And you could tell that it was going to be one of those things, like you were saying, that this is going to be a collector's item. And I actually had this version that came up in a cloth 10 yards. And I was like, oh, this is probably never going to be worth money.
Yeah.
And then you go to like, a retro gaming store now, and it's like, oh, that's $80.
Yep.
Like, oh, well, fuck me.
Speaking of collector's edition, did you see Street Fighter 2 cartridge?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I read about it and went, what? Why?
That's a lot of money.
It's $100? I understand it
that's-
comes with an art book and what have you, but it's $100. It's essentially probably the same ROM that has been on every cartridge for Super Nintendo as the first game, just put on on a new cartridge.
Yep. And
This is a ROM you can get for free off the internet if you.
It's not like you can even play it if you don't have the system. So.
You don't have a system, you can't play it. I have a retro. I actually have my Retro Freak. I'm actually a little concerned about. I mean, would Retro Freak it probably would because it's a ROM, so it probably would recognize it as. Well, no, I say that, but I have some clearly Chinese pirated Pokemon GBA games that Retro Freak cannot read. So it could be a cartridge issue. There could be a cartridge issue going on that would keep the Retro Freak from reading it. But because it's not, I mean, this is not like a Chinese-made, fake cartridge per se. This is obviously a newly made cartridge, but it's being made by a company that's known for making cartridges, and it could have the same kind of errors. But it also says, I mean, the article that I found, it basically explicitly warns against playing it because it could light your Super Nintendo on fire.
That's awesome.
And I was like, what? And I still don't understand why.
That's pretty metal.
It's not even like so. It's not even like the seizure warning where it says, oh, there's 1% of the population will have some sort of adverse reaction to lights that may or may not be in this game sort of thing. It's like, no, this game actually probably has a high likelihood of lighting your Super Nintendo on fire. So, you should buy a fire extinguisher and keep one handy at all times while playing. And you're like,
that's why it's red. It's a fire warning.
Yeah, it's hella frightening. I have no clue. And then you had to spend $100 on it, and then play it with your newly purchased fire extinguisher, hoping to God you don't ruin your
your house.
vintage Super Nintendo and house. and
Yeah.
possessions, and cat and little sister or whatever else you have nearby your Super Nintendo
Possibly.
at the time of combustion.
Possibly children.
Chilling in. It's just, it's like, whoa. I sent that to Pete, because Pete's a big fighting game fan. Way bigger than I am. Understands. He is of the opinion that Super Street Fighter, or Ultra Street Fighter 2, the new challengers for Switch, was a, well, even before that, when it was Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, was a terrible game. And
Okay.
I can't disagree with him on the art aspect of it, because I look at the art.
I like the pixel version better.
I think I like the style they went with, but apparently the artists actually don't have any concept of anatomy, and literally put muscles where there aren't muscles on the human body on some of the characters, and you're like, is this they could have done better here for this, and didn't. But that was 9 years ago, so this is a re-release of a 9-year-old game, for $40 that I think when it launched costed $14 or something.
Yeah.
Invisible's fine. Boo Preston. Oh, I am Preston. It says boo Invisible. I'm still Invincible. I'm not changing things. It's too late for that. But yeah, it's so. I actually told in my article I sent him, I was like, this might be a direct result of having great success with the Street Fighter game on Switch. That they could sell a 9-year-old game for more than they originally asked for it on Switch. They're now selling Street Fighter 2 on cartridge. That could burn your house down for $100.
Or you could buy a Switch, which won't catch on fire.
Yeah. And you can play the Switch one online, I think.
Yeah.
Or is it up? I think you can play it online. Either you play it online or you upload your scores online.
It's
Something.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question, because if it's online, we could probably fight each other.
Yeah. I had it over here. Had it in my system a little bit. Well, 10:15.
Did you buy the physical copy?
Yeah, I bought the physical copy. I would try to buy the physical copies whenever I can.
Yeah, me too.
Partially, I admit readily that it is not as convenient. I find myself playing games that are built into my console from being downloadable more often than I do playing these cartridge versions I have of games, right? But I like having the physical cartridge. I like having it as a physical medium that exists in space and time that I know where it is and no one can take from me, which they could do on other platforms. I like having the boxes with the box art that I can put up on a shelf.
Me too.
And
I like having the ability to stare like that too. Yeah.
I've also found that I mean that I'm probably saved up a lot of storage space on my SD card and system by having cartridges versus, because if you download them, you're filling up that SD card and you're filling up your your system full of storage, and you'd have to probably be cleaning stuff out to make room. And
Yeah. And haven't done that on my 3DS already. I don't like it.
I got the happily 3DS does support, I think, a 32 gigabyte SD card, and I have that, so I haven't run into that problem yet, especially because 3DS games are much smaller than Switch games. But Switch games and Wii U games and stuff, they would become problematic after a while, really quickly actually. I have on Wii U, I have a couple of full-fledged retail games in downloadable form because they were like on sale or something. I think there was a Halloween sale for Resident Evil Revelations. I got that on as a retail, as a downloadable game. I think I did I wanted to get Sonic Sonic Racing Transformed, All Stars Racing Transformed, and I couldn't find the physical copy anywhere locally, or even on Amazon at the time, and so I just bought it off the download eShop, and that's another one I have. And I can note that they do take up a lot of space on my hard drive, and well, actually, also there's the occasional game, probably Breath of the Wild, but especially Xenoblade Chronicles X. Literally ask you, hey man, you can play this the way it is off this game, but you're gonna hit load screens and it's gonna suck, and you have a much better experience if you just let us download these giant packets of the game files to a hard drive on your Wii U, so we can just load it off the thing. And essentially it's like you have the game on disc, but we're basically installing the disc. We're installing all the material that's on the disc onto your hard drive on your system. So
yeah, congrats.
we can basically, it's essentially having the digital version, but you have the physical version, and I don't understand why it's a thing, but it was necessary, I guess, with the Wii U's memory, which is actually very fast. I think very fast memory, but very low memory. So I see that being a thing. It's actually weird because the Switch cartridges, right? They, well, there's that coming up right now because of the success of,
I saw that.
Of the other Capcom games, with the Street Fighter, what have you. They're coming out with a collection of Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, which is awesome because I never got to play 2. And so what you do is they're both on the eShop, or you can get the physical copy, right? Well, the crazy thing is that the actual Switch cards, cartridges, they can be made to have like 256 gigabytes of storage space on them, right? Way more than a Blu-ray disc, essentially. That all the other, or even a 4K Ultra HD disc has, which is what everyone else is using. Not everyone, actually, PlayStation 4 is not using that, but still, a lot more space than the other consoles could have. The issue is that costs a shit ton of money. This is only one manufacturer of those cartridges. They're the only ones that have the technology to put ROM carts in that kind of storage size on a little cartridge, and it's not cheap. And so they demand a lot of money. And it's actually why every game for Switch, if it's a $30 game on PS4 and Xbox One, it's a $40 game on Switch. And it's because they have to charge an extra $10 to cover the cost of making the ROM card, which is interesting, but it also means that because we could have had Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 put on one cartridge. It's totally possible. Very well within the storage capacity of the Switch cartridge. But bumping it up to anything higher than the default storage capacity of the Switch cartridge, which I think is like 16 gigabytes or something like that, starts getting more expensive than $40, right? You had to start upping the price of the game. And Capcom didn't want to do that. So when you buy the physical copy of Resident Evil Revelations Collection 1 and 2, the cartridge only contains Resident Evil Revelations 1, which is presumably the smaller game, because it was the first one that didn't come out in the next system. And within that is a little sheet with a download code to download a version of Resident Evil Revelations 2 off the eShop.
Weird.
So
That's
it's a
kinda
physical
dumb.
copy, but you're actually only getting a physical copy of one of the games.
That's so dumb.
It is very dumb, but it also, I think it's as much as, and it has caught a lot of flack from people that didn't like that, but I think as much flack as it's caught, it will probably catch on more commonly than people forking out, publishers forking out the money for more expensive ROM cards because they have to come up with a price, or they have to pay for that from somewhere, and
Yeah.
they're gonna fork that cost onto the consumer by making the game cost more money. And as much as I think we all prefer to have it on one cartridge, I think Capcom also realized no one's going to pay more than $40 for 2 old games. So
It's probably right.
and if I'm right in the fact that this will become more common, then it means your storage space on your Switch is more precious than ever.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah, Nintendo just partnered with an SD maker, didn't they?
oh sure,
I just
I've
saw
heard
an
it.
article about that today. They're going to be producing. Actually, you know what? You're completely validated in all this because they just had a article. Yeah, that said that Switch or Nintendo is going to be partnering with a company that makes those, and that's going to be because some games are going to require you to have storage space like that. I don't know. I forget exactly what the details were.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
The tech is there. It's just the tech is expensive because only one company knows how to do it, and from what I understood, at least at the time, only one company knew how to do it, and maybe there's another one, and that's why Nintendo's partnering with their competitor all of a sudden. Who knows? But
Probably.
it makes sense because, damn, pricey. I suppose it's just really flash memory. I don't understand why. I guess it being a ROM cart versus like an SD card or something, it makes it harder to pirate, I'd imagine. Maybe because you can't just insert it into your SD card slot and go. But I'm actually really close to being champion. I need
Nice.
to keep going.
I'm gonna keep going. I'm a defender.
Yeah, I'm 41 out of 50 on defender right now. So,
Oh wow.
and it's if you're close to getting to the next rank, it pays just to keep going for it because you get super sea snails based on your rank and not how far you are into your rank or anything. So if you've played 2 hours to get 41 out of 50 on defender and you don't get the champion, you're not going to get that extra amount of super sea snails when the Splatfest ends.
Now, what are the sea snails?
Super sea snails,
Why should I care about these sea snails?
so they used to do something else. Now they are more versatile in this game, but the most primary thing that they do is that they add slots to your gear. So if you have an item that you like that only has 1 slot versus an item you don't like that has 3 slots, you're like, God damn, I wish I could wear the cool glasses or whatever. Spin Super Sea Snail on it, boom, you have a new slot open up. A Super Sea Snail, bleh, also allows you to, in the first game, I think they changed it in this game. In the first game, it allowed you to re-roll the gear that you have. So you would spin the Super Sea Snail, and then all the slots on your gear would just go like a slot machine, and you get new random items. I think now you use them to specify exactly what kind of gear you want if you have enough of them. So the higher your rank you are, the more Super Sneak Snails you get when the Splatfest ends. And if you win, you get plus 8 more. I think it used to be at like plus 10 more or something like that. But basically, you want as much as you possibly can to maximize your outfit. And I can tell you right now, if we fired up Splatoon 1 and got into it, and the people that are playing Splatoon 1 right now have gear and items that have perfect, all of the same item, thing for maxed out stats. And because they've been playing the game forever, and they've done every Splatfest, and they won all the Splatfests because they're good, and they have all these Super Sea Snails, and they're able to fill that, max that stuff out. And now, because there's no more Splatfest in Splatoon 1, there's no way to get Super Sea Snails. So that game is...
They're OP.
They're OP, and also that game is, is waiting to be closed down, essentially. I mean, there's no way for players to get into it and then become competitive with the people that are already there because Splatfests are over.
Right.
So that's why Splatoon 2 exists. Now we're all starting over on the same playing field.
Yay.
But Super Sea Snails essentially are like the super currency, and there's only one place to get them.
Okay, so I'm reading the article right now. Nintendo partners with Western Digital to create a licensed Switch SanDisk memory cards.
Oh, okay. I mean, they did that. They did that with someone. I don't know if it was Samsung or Western or who. For the Wii, they have. I even bought one. Little white SD cards for the Wii that matched the Wii color system. It was just officially licensed by Nintendo, and it was a name brand company.
We like money.
Yep. But I think it was only like a 2 gigabyte SD card, so it was like, I think that was the max the Wii could do though. I don't think the Wii could do 4 gigabytes.
At the time, that was pretty badass. So.
Well, I remember.
Back in my day.
Clean out the fridge. Do you remember clean out the fridge?
No.
No. Everyone, when the Wii first launched, everyone realized that you couldn't launch games, downloadable games, off of the SD card. I mean, it had to be stored onto the main memory of the Wii system. So the SD card was only there for like game saves and maybe backup of stuff. But basically, if you wanted to play a game, you'd have to delete it off of your make room essentially on your Wii system and then transfer it over from the SD card to the thing. It was like reinstalling the game all over again. It took a lot of time, or you had to re-download it, sort of thing. And people complained. They're like, "This is useless.
Well, yeah.
Why do I have an SD card inside of my system as expandable storage memory and no hard drive when these huge games are coming out in WiiWare?" And what the F, Nintendo? And for the longest time, Nintendo, Reggie Fils-Aimé, there's a woman at that time that used to go out and do the E3 on stages and stuff, and I don't remember her name. She was an older woman. She doesn't work at Nintendo anymore.
Oh.
The only thing I remember her about was that she went off on a tangent about how she broke her wrist on stage at an E3, and everyone was like, "What does this have to do with games? Stop talking."
I remember that.
Yeah, but
I wasn't even like a big Nintendo fan.
it was just an awkward E3 moment that everyone went, "What?" But she was skiing, I guess. I guess there was a ski game coming up, and she was like, "I broke my wrist while skiing the other day, or the last summer with my family," and we're like, "We don't care."
That'll sell a game.
But she and Reggie Fils-Aimé were both saying, so you have to clean out your fridge every once in a while, right? You can't just clean out the fridge on your Wii. Like, you have to make room. It's just a little chore, but it's not a big deal. And we're all like, no, it's a big deal. And it was apparently a big enough deal to where investors at the... there's lots of investors at the Nintendo, people that... And Nintendo has to answer to them. So every once in a while you'll hear... I mean, I used to hear a lot about how Iwata would have to sit down and answer to all the investors and the board people and all that stuff. Basically, sit up on a stage and be grilled by people who had put money into Nintendo of why they weren't doing certain things that they should be doing that make money. One of the common things I heard was recently, even actually a couple of years back, was, so you have a 3D system finally. Why are you not putting Virtual Boy games on the eShop? What?
Oh my god.
Why is this not a thing? And they were going, well, we'll keep things open for that. That was his answer. But I was like, yeah, you actually could probably put some Virtual Boy games on the eShop and have essentially Virtual Boy games playable for the first time, and for some odd years on really the only system that would ever actually be able to play them on a virtual console sort of format. It makes some money off of it. You put, you know,
you wouldn't go blind either.
yeah, you wouldn't go blind. And you know, Nintendo would just, they just have to sit there and go doop 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 and twirl their fingers and come up with really bad answers. But I remember someone at one of the conference calls basically grilling them, going, "So people are not buying this system because you guys put in external storage that can't be read," and beat the Iwata up for that, I think. And I think Iwata said, so we do have something to announce in that front. We are, the reason we were hesitant to do anything about that was that this is a fundamental architecture, you know, way the system works on a level that can't be changed without heavy rewrite of the basic code of the system. And essentially it costs a lot of money, and we have decided that yes, we will put our engineers on it to rewrite the fundamental code of the Wii and to allow it to happen. And that's when we got the update that allowed you to launch games on your Wii off your SD card. And I don't know if you ever do it, but it does. It is a little awkward looking. It's not the most. It's not the most smooth process.
Yeah,
I mean, beforehand.
Wow.
Beforehand, when you had stuff downloaded onto your Wii, it had its own channel. What have you? You click on it, it would have, even WiiWare games, what have you, would have you know, animated intros and stuff before you hit start. And now when you fire things up off your SD card, you have to wait for a little loading bar to go bling, 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 fill up, and then you start to see the channel animation play, but it doesn't let it finish. It just goes, it just kind of fades to black, and so you see there's something that you're missing out on, but it's just trying to launch the game as soon as possible, because if they've dumped it onto the you know, use it now RAM of the system essentially to get it to work. And but you can launch games off the SD card without having to move things around storage wise, that was their goal.
Which is the win.
That's Nintendo for you. There's times, actually, I think you could easily sum up Nintendo as being the company that when everyone else is doing something and you say, "Hey, I want that too," Nintendo says, "No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah, you actually want this new thing you haven't even heard of or thought of before. Here you go." And then you go, "Well, yeah, that's cool. I do want that. But I still want that other thing that the other guys had, like achievements and trophies and stuff that are only 15 years old now from the other competitors that we don't have on, you know." The first update for Switch allowed, to put this in perspective, the first update on Switch allowed you to see or get notifications when your friends were coming online and what games they're playing. Now, that was not only not available from the start of the Switch, but it's not a thing in Wii U, and it was a thing in Xbox 360 and PS3, right? And so it's like, these are things that they probably should have done a long time ago, and they're only just now getting around to it, because I like to think it's because the Wii U kind of bit the dirt a bit.
Yeah.
They, you know, got it shoved in their face that no, people won't just buy everything. And if you don't give them what they want, eventually you will not succeed, and you probably should kind of listen to them a bit. I think that's what the Switch is. I think the Switch is really a Wii U with... What's that?
I mean, look at how we have like 2 new Metroid games coming out.
Yeah, 2 new Metroid games coming out. Who knows when 4 will come out, but it's planned at least for Switch. I heard, and you know what? The thing is, I heard the name of the developer on Metroid Prime 4, and when they first revealed the trailer, now I can't. Literally went looking. I can't find the name again.
I thought they never officially said who it was.
I don't think they ever did officially, but I heard unofficially that it was a developer named something, Steam something something. And it was like two words, and one of the words was Steam, and I can't find it again. And
Report maybe?
I don't know.
Like everyone I've ever talked to has been like, oh yeah, they've never said who it is, and they're still wondering. And all we've heard is that it's a new development team. That's all I remember.
Yeah, they do say new development team, and it would, I guess, technically be a new development team if it's a team of developers being headed up by, what's his name? Tanake. Who, he's never, developed with before. They would probably be a new team. They did the same thing. Well, Sakurai does the same thing or did the same thing at least when he developed Kid Icarus Uprising. He put together some developers that he'd never worked with before, and became the director in the game, and made a whole new development team and development studio, and announced him as a big old project, separate company, separate from Sora, which was his. Sora is supposedly his development studio. If you ever notice from any sort of time he's ever developed a Smash Bros. Game, it's never just Sora. It's always Sora and someone else. It's because Sora is just him. Sora is just a name for him, and he sits there at his computer and codes things himself by hand.
Hey guys, call me Sora.
And so he has the company Sora, and the company Sora is him. But it's essentially not enough for him to do Smash Brothers. So for Brawl, they brought in a company called Game Arts to help make Brawl development studio, and I thought they did a pretty good job at it.
Yeah.
Once Game Arts was discovered to be the ones that have worked on Brawl, or they came out and said so. What was it? I think it was Ubisoft went to them and said, "Hey, we want you to do a Smash Bros. Clone with Ninja Turtles." And they went, "Okay," and they made Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Smash Up. Was a game for Wii. I have it. It doesn't play like Smash Brothers, to put it kindly.
But is it fun?
It's fun for what it is, but it's not Smash Brothers fun. It's you can see what they're going for, but there's a thing about it. When Sakurai would work on these games, he would say, "I need this. I need this model of Zelda. I need this animation of what have you." And he'd basically order stuff from the other guys, and then they'd make them, and they'd send it to him, and he would program it and put it into the game. He was like the programmer. Right. And even so, when it came to moves, he would decide how many frames an animation took, how quickly it landed, what the hitboxes were. I mean, he built Smash Brothers. All the mechanics of Smash Brothers that we play.
Iwata, right?
What? What do you mean?
Iwata helped with that, didn't he?
Well, yeah, because Hal.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like the more recent games, so Brawl and Smash for 3DS, and I think also in Melee, quite a bit, he sits down and codes all the moves himself, and he knows everything about every move and every change, and he's the one that makes all the decisions on if something needs to be nerfed or buffed or what have you, or changed around for balance sake. He's the only programmer on the games. So it's just him. And I guess what I was getting at with that is that Game Arts does not have a Sakurai. So the game does not feel like Smash Brothers when things are being kicked, the physics aren't right, the animations and the tuning of it. There's just something Sakurai-ish about the Smash Brothers that is missing from the Ninja Turtles clone, essentially, that makes it kind of feel stilted and stunted, and like the physics aren't right or something, or And I also think it might be by design because you don't want it to be a perfect clone, else then it's like insulting or infringing. So there is some changes on stuff. It's a bit more combo based than the moves in Smash, what have you. And so that requires you to, when you hit an opponent they don't really go flying. They kind of stand there and go, ow. But that allows you to follow up with multiple hits. And I thought, okay, that makes sense. I can't figure out how to make a successful combo, and I can't figure out, whenever I do so, or make like a 3-hit combo, whatever, they don't go flying in a way that's satisfying or something. It was missing the Smash Bros. Magic. So that was my big critique on it. Otherwise, it was an okay game. It's also very rare to find now, I think. It might be on, I say that, you can go to eBay and find it for like $10. But,
yeah, right. Man, it's so rare.
That when they started doing a Smash with for 3DS and Wii U, they Game Arts had kind of pissed off Nintendo with the whole, okay, we'll make a Turtle game for Ubisoft, and so they did not go back to Game Arts, and they went. I think Sakurai was kind of trying to get Mega Man and Pac-Man and stuff, which, if you notice, are properties owned by Namco Bandai, and they're like, all right, we'll let you use them if we can make the game, and they're like, oh, okay. That killed two birds with one stone there, and so Namco Bandai was the developers on the most recent games, but still, it's essentially Sora, Sakurai, ordering all the pieces and programming them all in. I say that to get back to Kid Icarus by saying that I'm pretty sure that his new studio he put together for Kid Icarus Uprising and all the future Kid Icarus games was just a collection of some developers from 2 other studios who made stuff that by order of him, and then he programmed everything in probably. And Kid Icarus came out. Kid Icarus Uprising came out. I don't know if you played it. It is one of the best games in 3DS.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
It has fantastic voice acting. They hired a casting director and writer for cartoons over here in America to cast the characters' voices and stuff, and then do all the directing for all the voice acting. So it's really good, solid voice acting in ways that's hilarious and kind of it's on fire on one level of voice acting, but more cartoony, more lighthearted. Because the game is, So what was the last time? The last time there was a Kid Icarus game was 30 years ago or something like that. I mean, they say the same thing in the games. They say, we haven't really had a good solid fight with Medusa or whatever in 30 years. And there's a lot of why do we have to do this over and over again or whatever, and Palutena going, well, if we didn't, it would make a terrible game, Pit. It's all breaking the fourth wall and what have you. That makes the game pretty fun. But graphically it's very good. But it didn't sell that well.
It's like a rail shooter like Star Fox.
It's a rail shooter like Star Fox, then it has moments where it gets on the ground. You're walking around the ground and stuff like that. And that's more of a brawler type combat. I say that, but it's still it's not easy to play, the controller layout for it, and it's actually why it also came packaged with a stand for your 3DS, so you could hold the thing and play it without having your hand cramp, which is interesting. But basically what I get off of that saying is that it didn't sell well, even though it was a fantastic, amazing game, and the new studio to handle all this stuff went away. It just crumbled, and all that happened was that they all went back to doing their normal jobs, and Sora went back to being Sora, him sitting there doing his own thing for freelance. I say that I come and bring that all back home to why I was getting off on that being that Metroid. When a new producer comes in and is ordering devs around that he's never ordered around before, it's essentially that's a new studio, as far as anyone else is concerned. And so what I think is that it's they keep saying it's a whole new studio. It's never, but it's not a whole new studio that's never made a game before. I think it's the Steam, whoever these people are, being directed by Tanabe, and that's the whole new studio. Now,
That makes sense.
I think that's not necessarily bad, because I don't think Federation Force was a bad game. I think Federation Force was a game that came out at a bad time.
Probably.
I think if Other M had been a big success, no one would be that upset with Federation Force. But because Other M was a big flop, and everyone was like, what is the future of Metroid? And Nintendo was like, mum on it and everything. We get this big reveal of, it's Metroid Prime without Samus. And it just pissed everyone off. But I think the game was actually, for what it was, a pretty good game. It's kind of like Triforce Heroes in that you very much want to play it with friends, even if you're playing online. And beyond that, I actually do want to stream it too, with people. But
Nice.
I think he does give good direction, good orders.
Like, yeah, for people who actually play, the people that I was talking to about it, like together, said that like as a team where it's like friends playing, it's actually really good.
The interesting thing about it, and what makes it work, and what made it easily could not have worked. It easily could have been a bad game. What makes it work is that each planet you go to has a new interesting puzzle dynamic to it that requires cooperation with teammates and what have you. So there's no point where you're doing something that you've done before, essentially, with people, and it makes it pretty fun, interesting, entertaining experience. But I still have to beat it, and I intend to do that. But I think Metroid Prime 4 will turn out good. I'm still just concerned because it's not retro, and my concern with that is that I know Retro isn't the same studio it was when they were working on 1 and 2 and 3. Because after they finished 1, 2, and 3, or I think after they finished 3, yeah, and they were going to work on Trilogy, that pissed off some head honchos that were really great designers of stuff, and they left. So the team that worked on Trilogy was retro, but retro minus some genius. And the team that has worked on Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze is essentially that same retro. The retro minus a couple some genius. And those games are really good. But are they Metroid Prime good? I'm not sure. I think Tropical Freeze is one of the greatest platformers ever made, but Donkey Kong Country Returns was not. It took them a while to get the platformer thing down. But they have their engine for graphics. I don't know if you have you ever seen Metroid? Just go on YouTube and type in like Metroid Prime 1 wireframe, and just see someone who is running the game through an emulator and turn on wireframe mode, so you see the polygons, and what you'd see is an absurd amount of technical detail to the environments in ways that are impressive even to modern standards, and for a console game at that time, let alone a PC game, it was astonishing, the graphics of Metroid Prime, and then the level design of Metroid Prime. Everything about Metroid Prime was about 10 years ahead of its time, especially on GameCube. Being the GameCube was weaker than an Xbox. It was a whoa kind of game, and I wonder, I'm fearful. One of the things I was wanting to see was we haven't seen them build a game since Wii, and the Wii was essentially GameCube with a little more RAM. That's all it was. So we haven't really seen them work with any sort of technology more advanced than GameCube era technology. And I was waiting to see, okay, what does the Retro's engine and what does Retro's artistic ability do on Switch with something that this much of power? This is essentially a generation and a half more advanced, or 2 generations and a half more advanced than a Wii. but we're not going to see that. We're seeing this new developer. Is Retro going to give them their tech? Do they know how to use that tech the same way as Retro does? That's all stuff that I'm worried about. Because you can do that with the 3DS game. You can go to level 5 and say we're making a whole new art style. We're changing everything up. Do it your way, what have you, because it's a side story game. But this is like Sonic the Hedgehog 4, right? Sonic the Hedgehog 4 wasn't a very good game, but it had really high. It was hurt more by the fact that it had a 4 in the title, because I had really high expectations. It was going to be the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which was one of the greatest games ever made, and it was nowhere close. It was kind of a JavaScript game. Actually, when I run on PC, it does request JavaScript to run. That's how iffy it is of a put together wise for coding. I'm a little bit concerned that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be from a studio that's not going to have the pedigree or the skill level of Retro. And though it may be Tanabe and he may give good direction, can he make them do something that they just can't do? Or can they match Retro? Can they surpass Retro? Who knows? I don't know. But I know I'm worried about it.
And the 4 indicates that they go. Otherwise, they would just have, Metroid something or other, and not put a 4 in front of it.
That's true. But they could have been trying to appease fans after the mess up that was Other M. Okay, well, what do people want? And also the mess up that was Federation Force, because it was a big negative publicity. I mean, there's a video of him saying, I know you guys don't like this game, I'm sorry, but give it a chance, sort of thing. He could just be returning to the whole, like I said, with the Switch, of you can't just keep doing what you want to do and expect people to give you money. Eventually you have to listen to what they want. And they've been screaming for Metroid Prime 4 for 10 years. Maybe they're just putting a 4 in front of it to appease them, but is it really going to be what we expect out of Metroid Prime 4? What do we expect out of Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah, right,
Isn't that really high? I think it's really high
something
expectations.
on the level of like Halo.
I want something better than Halo.
Oh yeah, me too. But I'm saying like a Nintendo caliber sci-fi shooter game.
Yeah, but it's gonna be. I don't even know what it would look like graphically. I can't fathom it, because we have come so far from the GameCube era of lighting and what have you, and atmospheric and post-processing effects. Metroid Prime was a game that pushed the graphics, and Nintendo is not generally a company that puts a lot of emphasis on that, but I think that's what people expect out of the system. People expect to see Metroid Prime go show them something they couldn't see from anyone else when it comes to exploring a realistic open world environment. And right now the most impressive doing that is Monolith Soft, which is good news for Nintendo because they own them, but that's also not from a first-person perspective. So, and it may not even work from a first-person perspective. It may be the scale of environments may be different, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot we have to wait and see.
Third than first.
Yeah.
I gotta get going on a bit.
Yeah, me too. I guess I'll see you then.
Alright, bud. I'll see you.
Later.
You got a bad.
Bye-bye.
Bye.